Every day you have a choice. You can show up and take action, or you can let the day slip away. Every small step you take builds momentum, and every day you delay is a day lost. Consistency is what separates those who reach their goals from those who only dream about them. This video is about building that consistency. It's about understanding why showing up matters more than feeling motivated, and how small daily actions add up to real change. By the end of this video, you'll have practical strategies to stay committed, stay focused, and keep moving forward, no matter what challenges appear. Consistency isn't about willpower alone. It's about creating habits, planning your days, and connecting your actions to the reason you started. It's about taking control of your time, energy, and focus,
so that every day becomes a building block toward your goals. If you want to stay consistent, take control of your progress, and achieve results that last, this video will guide you step by step. Chapter 1. Build a simple routine you can follow daily. You will never stay consistent if your routine is too complicated to remember or too heavy to carry. Most people fail, not because they are lazy, but because they try to do too much, too soon, in a way that doesn't fit their real life. If you want to stay consistent every day, you must build a simple, clear, and doable routine that you can actually live with, not just dream about. Think about your mornings. Do you wake up every day with a plan, or do you just react to whatever happens? The first mistake people make is they start their day in confusion. They wake up, check their phone, scroll, get lost in random thoughts, and before they know it, 2 hours are gone. If you want consistency, your day has to start with purpose. A good routine doesn't need to fill every single minute. It needs to guide you, not suffocate you. Start small. You don't have to wake up at 4 a.m., run 10 miles, read 100 pages, and meditate for an hour. You just need a set of actions you can repeat without stress. The goal is not to impress anyone. It's to create a flow that you can keep for years. First, decide your anchor points, fixed actions that mark your day. For example, you might start every morning by drinking a glass of water, stretching for 5 minutes, and writing down your 3 priorities for the day. That's simple. That's doable. And more importantly, you can do it even when you are tired, busy, or not in the mood. Simplicity is the secret to sustainability. A simple routine means you can repeat it without burning out. People fail when they try to build routines that don't fit their energy, lifestyle, or personality. Be honest with yourself. If you're not a morning person, don't build a routine that demands you wake up before the sun. Build something that works for your reality. Consistency comes from rhythm, and rhythm comes from repetition. If your routine keeps changing, your brain never gets used to it. That's why you need to pick a time for certain activities and stick to it. Wake up at the same time. Eat at the same time. Go to bed at the same time. The more you protect your schedule, the more your actions become automatic. But here's something important. A routine is not about perfection. Life will happen. Some days you'll miss. That's fine. What matters is that you return to it the very next day without overthinking. Too many people fall into the trap of guilt. They miss one day and convince themselves they've failed completely. You haven't failed, you just paused. Get back to it immediately. Now think about the feeling of order. When your day has structure, you feel calmer. You waste less time wondering what to do next. There's a quiet confidence that comes from knowing your day is already mapped out. That confidence will push you forward, even when you feel unmotivated. Here's how you can start building your simple routine today. Write down your non-negotiables. These are the activities you must do every day, no matter what. They could be exercise, reading, planning your day, or checking in with family. Keep them limited to 3 to 5 tasks so they stay manageable. Place them in your day. Pick times that fit your life. If you work early mornings, don't put your workout in the morning, put it in the afternoon. If you're mentally sharp in the morning, put your most important work then. Remove unnecessary decisions. If you spend 20 minutes every morning deciding what to do, you'll lose energy before you even start. Decide once and follow the same pattern daily. Keep it short at first. It's better to have a 20-minute morning routine you can keep for 5 years than a 2-hour one you can't keep for 5 days. Link new habits to existing ones. If you already make coffee every morning, add your 5-minute stretch right after. This makes it easier for your brain to remember. When you follow a simple routine long enough, it stops feeling like an effort. You just do it. It's part of you. That's the level you want to reach. There will be days when you don't feel like it. Those days are the test. If your routine is simple enough, you can do it even when your energy is low. That's why I keep telling people, don't design a routine for your best days. Design it for your worst days. If it works on your worst days, it will carry you for life. I've met so many people who try to overhaul their life in 1 week. They wake up Monday and decide to change everything at once. New diet, new workout, new work schedule, new reading plan. It feels exciting at first, but by Friday they're exhausted and frustrated. That's not how real consistency works. Real consistency is built one layer at a time. You master one part, then add the next. That's how it becomes unshakable. And remember, you don't need to copy someone else's routine. What works for them might not work for you. Take ideas, sure, but always shape them to your life. Your routine should feel like a supportive guide, not a prison. Think of the satisfaction you'll feel a year from now when you look back and realize you've kept a steady rhythm every day. You'll be healthier, sharper, and more disciplined, not because you made huge leaps, but because you kept showing up in small, steady steps. Consistency is a choice you make daily, and a simple routine makes that choice easier. If you wake up and already know exactly what to do, you remove hesitation. That's the power of routine. It makes discipline almost effortless. So today, decide your anchor points. Commit to them. Protect them. Keep them so simple that missing them would feel strange. Over time, you'll notice something powerful. You won't have to push yourself as hard. The routine will pull you forward. When you live with a simple daily structure, you take control. You stop letting moods decide your actions. You stop waiting for motivation. You act because it's what you do. And that's how consistency is built, day after day, choice after choice, until it becomes who you are. This is your foundation. Build it well. Keep it simple. Follow it every single day. Chapter 2. Focus on one main goal at a time. One of the fastest ways to lose consistency is to overload yourself with too many priorities at once. People don't usually quit because the goal is impossible. They quit because they spread themselves so thin that they make very little progress anywhere. The truth is, your time, energy, and attention are limited. You cannot give your best to 5 big goals at once. If you want to see results and stay consistent, you need to choose one main goal and make it the center of your focus. Think about this. When you try to chase multiple things at the same time, you're constantly switching between them. Every switch costs you time. Every switch drains your focus. You never fully settle into one thing long enough to see real progress. It's like you're always starting, but never finishing. That's exhausting, and over time it kills motivation. When you focus on one main goal, something changes. You give it the best of your energy. You measure progress clearly. You avoid the frustration of scattered effort. And most importantly, you create momentum, the kind of momentum that carries you forward even on the days you feel tired. Here's why one goal matters so much. Your brain works better when it's not overloaded. You can only make so many decisions in a day before your willpower runs low. If you wake up knowing exactly what your priority is, you remove the stress of deciding over and over. That mental clarity is priceless. Now, this doesn't mean you ignore every other part of life. It means you have one primary focus that gets the most attention, time, and energy. Other things can still happen, but they take a back seat. For example, if your main goal right now is building a fitness habit, you still go to work, you still spend time with family, but you design your day so your workouts are non-negotiable. They are your priority. The problem is, most people are afraid to focus. They feel like choosing one goal means they're giving up on other dreams. It doesn't. You're not abandoning your other goals. You're simply giving yourself permission to succeed in one area before you move to the next. In fact, mastering one goal at a time often speeds up progress in everything else, because you build discipline and confidence that transfer into other areas of life. So how do you decide which goal to focus on first? Here are a few ways to figure it out. Pick what matters most right now. Ask yourself which goal, if achieved, would make the biggest positive difference in your life at this moment. Pick what excites you or matters emotionally. If you care deeply about the goal, you're more likely to stay consistent. Pick what's realistic to your current circumstances. Timing matters. If your schedule is unpredictable right now, maybe don't choose a goal that needs strict daily hours. Once you've chosen your main goal, everything else needs to align around it. This doesn't mean you can't have smaller side goals, but they can't take focus away from the main one. You protect your energy for it. You arrange your day to make it happen first, not last. When you commit to one goal, you also need a clear plan. Too many people say, "I want to achieve this," but they don't define how. Your plan should be so clear that every day you know exactly what action to take. For example, if your main goal is writing a book, your plan might be to write 500 words every morning before checking your phone. That's clear, that's doable, that's measurable. Another key is to track progress. Tracking keeps you honest. It's easy to think you're working hard when you're not. When you track your daily actions, you see the truth. If you miss days, you know it. And the act of marking your progress, even something as simple as crossing off a calendar square, can motivate you to keep going. You'll also need to protect your focus from distractions disguised as opportunities. When you start making progress, you'll often be tempted by other exciting goals. You might think, "I can just add one more project." Don't. That's how you lose momentum. You can write those ideas down and return to them later, but right now your energy stays with your main goal. Focusing on one goal doesn't mean life will be easy. You'll still face setbacks. You'll still have days when nothing goes as planned. The difference is that you're not juggling so many priorities that one bad day destroys your whole system. When you have one focus, you can adapt quickly. If something goes wrong, you recover faster. There's also an emotional benefit. When you focus on one thing, you get to enjoy visible progress. You feel the satisfaction of moving forward every week. That builds belief. And belief is powerful. Once you believe you can succeed in one area, it becomes much easier to believe you can succeed in others. But here's the catch. You have to protect your main goal from your own impatience. You will get bored. You will be tempted to switch. Your mind will tell you that something else is more urgent. That's normal. It's the moment where most people quit. If you push through that urge and keep going, you'll reach a stage where consistency feels natural. Here's a simple action plan you can use to make one goal focus work. Step 1. Write down everything you want to achieve this year. Step 2. Circle the one goal that would have the biggest impact if you achieved it first. Step 3. Create a short list of daily or weekly actions for that goal only. Step 4. Set aside fixed time in your schedule to work on it. Step 5. Track your actions, not just results. Progress is built on actions you control. Step 6. Commit to sticking with it until you hit a clear milestone before switching focus. If you follow this approach, you'll avoid one of the biggest traps, spreading yourself so thin that nothing really happens. You'll also develop the discipline that comes from seeing something through from start to finish. Think about how different your life would be if you stopped starting over. If you chose one goal today and didn't stop until you achieved it. A year from now, you could look back and see actual results instead of half-finished plans. The choice is yours. You can keep chasing everything and getting nowhere, or you can focus on one thing and finally break through. This chapter is about more than productivity. It's about respect. Respecting your time, your energy, and your life enough to give yourself the best chance of success. And that means focusing your strength where it matters most. Pick your goal. Make it your priority. Give it your full attention every day. And watch how consistency becomes so much easier when you're not being pulled in 10 directions at once. Chapter 3. Track your progress and review it each night. If you want to stay consistent, you can't just work hard. You have to know if what you're doing is actually working. Too many people push through each day without stopping to measure their progress. They rely on memory or feelings to tell them how they're doing, and feelings can be unreliable. You might think you've been productive, but when you look closely you realize you've been busy without moving forward. Tracking your progress and reviewing it every night is how you stay honest with yourself. It's how you make sure your actions are lining up with your goals. It's also how you build motivation, because nothing feels better than seeing proof that you're moving forward. Progress tracking isn't complicated. You don't need an expensive planner or a complicated app. You just need a way to record what you did and compare it to what you planned. That can be a notebook, a piece of paper, a simple spreadsheet, or even the Notes app on your phone. The important part is that you do it consistently. The reason you track is simple. What you measure improves. When you keep track, you pay more attention, you spot patterns, you see when you're on track and when you're drifting. Without tracking, you might work hard for weeks only to realize you've been focusing on the wrong things. Here's the truth. The human brain forgets quickly. If you don't write down what you've done, the details fade. You might remember the big wins, but you'll forget the small, steady actions that actually led to them. By tracking daily, you capture the truth before it slips away. Your nightly review is just as important as the tracking itself. Every night, you should take a few minutes to look at what you accomplished, what you missed, and what you learned. This isn't about beating yourself up. It's about learning from the day so you can make tomorrow better. When you review your day, ask yourself 3 simple questions. What did I complete today that moved me toward my goal? Where did I waste time or lose focus? What will I do differently tomorrow? These questions keep you from drifting into autopilot. They keep you aware and intentional. You end the day knowing exactly where you stand, and you start the next day with a clear plan. Now, some people avoid tracking because they're afraid of facing the truth. They know they've been inconsistent, and they don't want to see it on paper. But avoiding the truth doesn't make it go away, it just keeps you stuck. The moment you start tracking, you take back control. You turn vague intentions into measurable actions. The act of writing something down also makes it more real. If you planned to work out and you didn't, seeing that empty space on your tracker is a powerful reminder. It pushes you to follow through next time, because you don't want to break the chain. One simple method is the yes or no system. Each day you list your key actions, and at the end of the day you mark whether you did them. For example, exercise yes or no, read 10 pages. Yes or no, write 500 words. Yes or no, this removes excuses. There's no halfway answer. Either you did it or you didn't. And that clarity is powerful. Another method is to record numbers. If your goal is to save money, write down exactly how much you saved that day or week. If your goal is to run more, record the distance you ran. Numbers show progress in a way that's hard to argue with. Tracking also helps you see patterns you wouldn't notice otherwise. Maybe you notice that every Tuesday your productivity drops, or that you're more consistent when you work in the morning than at night. Those insights let you adjust your approach and make it easier to succeed. The nightly review is also your chance to celebrate progress. Even small wins deserve recognition. If you ran 1 more mile than last week, or finished a task ahead of time, take a moment to acknowledge it. That feeling of progress fuels motivation. It reminds you that your efforts are paying off, but you must also be honest about your weak spots. If you keep missing the same task every day, something needs to change. Maybe the task is too big, and you need to break it down. Maybe you're trying to do it at the wrong time of day. The review helps you spot these issues early before they turn into bigger problems. To make this work, you have to be consistent with your tracking. It doesn't work if you only do it when you feel like it, even on bad days, even when you're tired, even when you missed half your tasks. Track it. Review it. This is when tracking matters most. I've seen people transform their lives with this one habit. They go from vague intentions to sharp focus. They stop feeling lost because they always know exactly where they stand. And they move faster toward their goals because they can adjust in real time instead of waiting until it's too late. If you want to start, here's a simple plan. Decide on the 3-5 key actions you need to do each day to move toward your goal. Create a space, notebook, phone note, calendar, to record whether you did them. Every night, review the day by answering the 3 questions. Adjust your plan for tomorrow based on what you learned today. It takes less than 10 minutes a day, but the impact is huge. You'll feel more in control, more aware and more motivated. You'll see your progress instead of just hoping for it. And here's something else. Tracking and reviewing every night doesn't just improve your consistency, it builds self-respect. You prove to yourself that you're serious about your goals. You stop making promises you don't keep, because you can see the proof every single day. Staying consistent isn't about perfection. You will have off days. You will miss tasks. But with tracking and reviewing, those off days become lessons instead of failures. You can see exactly what went wrong, fix it, and move forward without losing momentum. So tonight, before you sleep, take a few minutes. Look at your day. Write it down. Be honest. Learn from it, and then wake up tomorrow ready to do it better. That's how consistency is built, one day at a time, with clear eyes and a record of your steps. Chapter 4. Remove distractions that break your daily rhythm. You can have the best routine, the clearest goals, and the strongest motivation, but if distractions keep stealing your attention, you'll never keep your rhythm. Consistency is built on momentum, and distractions are the quickest way to break it. Think about a day when you were fully focused. Hours passed, and you got so much done because nothing pulled you away. Now think about the opposite. A day when every few minutes, something interrupted you. A message, a notification, a random urge to check something online. That day probably ended with frustration, not progress. That's why protecting your daily rhythm matters so much. A rhythm is your natural flow of energy and focus. When you keep it going, you work faster, you think clearer, and you feel in control. But every time a distraction cuts in, you have to restart. It takes time and energy to get back into the flow, and if it keeps happening, you never get far. The first step in removing distractions is to admit how much they cost you. A 5-minute break to scroll through your phone doesn't just take 5 minutes. It can take 10 or 15 more to rebuild your focus. If that happens several times a day, you lose hours without even realizing it. Distractions aren't always obvious. Some are loud and in your face, like phone calls or constant notifications. Others are quiet and sneaky, like unnecessary tasks you tell yourself are important. You might convince yourself you're being productive when you're really avoiding the real work. To protect your rhythm, you need to be ruthless about identifying what pulls you away. Start by looking at the past week. What interrupted your focus the most? Was it your phone, people around you, noise, social media, or your own wandering mind? Write them down. Awareness is the first step. Once you know your main distractions, you can build barriers against them. If your phone keeps pulling you away, turn off notifications or put it in another room while you work. If noise distracts you, use noise-canceling headphones or find a quieter space. If certain people keep interrupting you, set clear boundaries about when you're available. Sometimes the biggest distraction is yourself. Your own mind can wander to anything, checking emails, reorganizing your desk, making another coffee. That's why you need structure. Give yourself set times for deep work and set times for breaks. When you're working, commit fully. When it's time for a break, take it without guilt. Another powerful tool is a distraction list. Keep a piece of paper nearby. When something pops into your head that you feel like checking or doing, write it down instead of acting on it immediately. At the end of the day, review the list. You'll be surprised how many of those urgent things don't actually matter. You also have to look at your environment. Your surroundings shape your focus more than you think. A messy desk full of random items will pull your eyes and your thoughts in different directions. A clean, organized space makes it easier to stay locked in. This doesn't mean your space has to be perfect, just clear enough that nothing in your sight pulls you off track. Your daily rhythm depends on energy as much as focus. If you're tired, hungry, or dehydrated, you'll be more likely to give in to distractions. That's why part of removing distractions is taking care of your basic needs. Eat balanced meals, drink enough water, get enough sleep. You can't expect to stay focused if your body is running on empty. Another thing to remember is that not all distractions come from outside. Some come from trying to do too much at once. Multitasking feels productive, but it usually leads to slower work and more mistakes. If you want to protect your rhythm, do one thing at a time, give it your full attention, finish it, then move to the next. The more you remove distractions, the easier it is to stay consistent. At first, you'll have to be very intentional. You might need to physically separate yourself from your biggest distractions. Over time, you'll train your brain to stay on task longer without getting pulled away. But here's the truth, you'll never remove every distraction. Life happens. People will need you. Unexpected things will come up. That's okay. The goal isn't to create a perfect bubble. The goal is to reduce the distractions you can control so that when unavoidable ones happen, they don't completely derail you. This is also about protecting your mental space. If you start your day checking social media or reading stressful news, your mind is already scattered before you begin. That mental noise becomes a background distraction all day. You can avoid this by starting your day with your most important work before exposing yourself to outside information. To make this work in real life, try these steps. Identify your top 3 daily distractions. Write them down so they're clear in your mind. Create a barrier for each one. That might mean putting your phone in another room, using website blockers, or telling people your working hours. Set focus blocks. Work in stretches of 30 to 90 minutes with no interruptions, followed by a short break. Control your environment. Keep your workspace clear and remove visual clutter. Use a distraction list. Write down any thought or task that pops into your head and deal with it later. One of the best benefits of removing distractions is how it changes your relationship with time. When you're fully focused, 1 hour of work can achieve more than 3 hours of scattered effort. That means you can finish earlier, reduce stress, and still make consistent progress. Distraction removal is also a confidence builder. Every time you choose to stay focused instead of giving in, you prove to yourself that you have control over your attention. That proof builds self-discipline, and self-discipline is the backbone of consistency. Your daily rhythm is fragile in the beginning, but with practice it becomes strong. The more you protect it, the less you'll even be tempted by distractions. You'll enjoy the feeling of being fully present in what you're doing, and that feeling will keep pulling you back to focus. Remember, distractions don't just steal your time, they steal your momentum, your energy, and your potential. Every time you remove one, you take back a piece of your life. So today, decide what you're going to protect. Decide what matters most in your daily rhythm, and then guard it. Because once you control your focus, staying consistent becomes so much easier. Chapter 5. Keep your schedule the same every single day. Consistency thrives on rhythm. One of the strongest ways to build that rhythm is to keep your schedule the same every single day. When your days follow a predictable pattern, your mind and body know what to expect. You don't waste energy deciding what to do next, and you automatically move through tasks with less resistance. Most people underestimate the power of a regular schedule. They think they're flexible or adaptable, but in reality, a changing schedule creates chaos in your brain. When you never know what comes next, your focus suffers. You feel stressed. You procrastinate. You lose momentum. A fixed schedule is like a framework for your life. It doesn't mean you can't be spontaneous or handle emergencies, but it does mean that your most important activities have a set place. Your goal is to protect that structure as much as possible. Start with the basics. Decide what time you wake up and what time you go to bed. Waking up and going to bed at roughly the same time every day regulates your energy, improves your focus, and even helps your mood. Your brain starts to know when it's time to work and when it's time to rest, which reduces decision fatigue. Next, fix your key daily activities at the same time each day. That includes your work blocks, exercise, meals, and planning sessions. For example, if you exercise at 7 a.m., work on your main project from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., and review your day at 9 p.m. You do these things at the same time every day. Over time, they become habits. You do them automatically without fighting resistance. The benefit of a steady schedule is not just in productivity, it's in your mental state. Your brain craves predictability. When your schedule is consistent, you feel calmer and more in control. You know that every task has its place, and you can focus on each one without distraction or guilt. One mistake people make is thinking they need a complicated schedule. A schedule doesn't need to be precise to the minute. It just needs to create a reliable structure for your day. Even having general blocks of time, morning, afternoon, evening, with clear priorities is enough to build consistency. Consistency also reduces procrastination. When your schedule is fixed, there's no guessing about when you'll work on your goals. You stop waiting for the perfect moment or for motivation to appear. Your day has a built-in plan, and you simply follow it. Another key advantage is energy management. When your schedule is predictable, you can plan your most important work during your peak energy hours. You can handle low-energy tasks at times when you normally feel tired. Over time, this pattern trains your body and mind to work efficiently without constant effort. Even small decisions throughout the day drain your willpower. By keeping your schedule the same, you remove countless tiny choices. You don't have to debate when to start your workout or what task to tackle first. That mental energy is saved for real focus and important decisions. A fixed schedule also helps with habits. The more often you do something at the same time, the more it becomes automatic. Your brain starts to associate certain actions with specific times of day. This makes it easier to stay consistent without relying on motivation, which can be unpredictable. But life isn't perfectly predictable, and emergencies happen. A consistent schedule doesn't mean rigidity. It means structure with flexibility. You adjust when necessary, but you return to your rhythm as soon as possible. Missing one scheduled session isn't failure. What matters is getting back on track quickly. Even weekends or off days benefit from a similar structure. While you may relax more, keeping wake-up, meal and work blocks reasonably consistent keeps your body clock aligned and your habits intact. This prevents the disruptive Sunday night panic or Monday burnout. Here's how to build a consistent daily schedule in practice. Set fixed wake-up and sleep times. This anchors your entire day. Schedule key tasks at the same time every day. Prioritize your most important actions first. Create blocks for rest and meals. Protect your energy consistently. Keep evenings consistent. Use the same wind-down routine to prepare for sleep. Review your schedule weekly. Make small adjustments, but maintain overall stability. Even though it sounds simple, the impact is enormous. When your schedule is predictable, your mind stops fighting itself. You know exactly what comes next. You stop wasting time and energy on decisions you don't need to make. Your rhythm becomes automatic, and consistency follows naturally. Another benefit of a fixed schedule is emotional stability. When every day is unpredictable, stress rises, you feel rushed, distracted, and overwhelmed. A steady schedule creates a sense of control and confidence. You know your day has a natural flow, and that reduces anxiety. The longer you follow a consistent schedule, the easier it becomes. Tasks that once felt hard become easier. Your brain starts to expect them at specific times. Your body adjusts. Your motivation becomes less important because you simply do what's scheduled. This is the secret of long-term consistency. People who succeed in life often have this hidden advantage. They maintain regular routines. It's not exciting or flashy, but it works. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They don't rely on spur-of-the-moment inspiration. Their day is structured, predictable, and focused, and that structure compounds results over time. If you want to maintain a schedule every day, protect it like a priority. Treat scheduled work sessions as non-negotiable. Guard your mornings and prime hours. Make the same commitments to your daily structure that you would for an important meeting. Even small adjustments make a difference. For example, if your morning routine starts at 6 a.m., you may need to prepare your clothes, breakfast and workspace the night before. These small steps remove friction and make sticking to your schedule effortless. Consistency also allows you to track and improve. When your schedule is predictable, you can compare progress from one week to the next. You see patterns, you know what's working and what isn't. This continuous adjustment strengthens results and keeps you moving forward. At the core, keeping your schedule the same every day is about respect. Respect for your goals, your time and yourself. You acknowledge that your actions matter and that you're committed to building a life you can depend on. The truth is, consistency isn't about doing huge things perfectly every day. It's about showing up, following a structure, and doing what you committed to day after day. A fixed schedule makes that possible. It makes success less about willpower and more about design. So today, look at your routine. Identify which activities anchor your day. Set them at the same time every day. Protect that schedule. Return to it quickly when life interrupts. Over time, this simple discipline will transform your ability to stay consistent and achieve your goals. Chapter 6. Start your day with the hardest task first. How you start your day determines how the rest of it unfolds. Most people make the mistake of saving the hardest or most important task for later, thinking they need to warm up first or wait for motivation to arrive. The truth is, that approach often leads to procrastination, stress, and unfinished work. If you want to stay consistent, you need to tackle the hardest task first, when your energy, focus, and willpower are at their peak. Your mind is freshest in the morning. You haven't yet burned through hours of decision-making, distractions, or mental fatigue. That window of peak clarity is the best time to address the task that matters most, the one that feels heavy, complex, or intimidating. When you handle it first, everything else in your day becomes easier. Starting with the hardest task is also about discipline. It builds confidence. Every time you finish a challenging task early, you prove to yourself that you can handle difficult situations. That proof carries through the rest of the day. You feel stronger, more capable, and more in control. Many people delay hard tasks because they feel uncomfortable or fear failure. That discomfort is natural. The key is not to avoid it, but to face it when your energy is highest. If you push it off until the afternoon or evening, your energy will have dropped. Other distractions will appear, and your brain will look for excuses. By that time, the task feels bigger, heavier, and almost impossible to start. One practical way to do this is to identify your priority task the night before. Decide exactly what the hardest or most important action will be tomorrow morning. Write it down. Prepare everything you need to start immediately. This reduces hesitation and mental friction when you wake up. Another benefit is momentum. Once you finish your hardest task, the rest of the day feels easier by comparison. Simple tasks, meetings, or smaller projects don't feel as heavy, and you move through them faster and more efficiently. It's a mental release, a sense of accomplishment that fuels everything else. Starting with the hardest task also reduces stress. Most people carry a lingering sense of dread about unfinished challenging tasks. That dread distracts them and lowers their productivity. By completing the hardest task first, You remove that mental burden. Your mind can then fully focus on the rest of your day without a looming worry in the background. To make this approach work, preparation is key. Identify your most challenging task clearly. Know exactly what steps are involved. Gather any resources you need ahead of time. Treat it like an appointment you cannot miss. The more prepared you are, the easier it is to start and complete it without excuses. Some people resist this approach because it feels uncomfortable at first. Starting your day with the hardest task goes against the natural tendency to seek comfort and quick wins. But the discomfort is temporary. The benefits, increased focus, momentum, confidence, and calm, last all day. Energy management also plays a role. You have the most mental energy in the morning, and it naturally declines as the day progresses. Complex problem solving, creative work, and important decisions require high energy. If you save these for later, you risk making mistakes, procrastinating, or giving up entirely. By tackling them first, you use your energy where it matters most. Another important aspect is avoidance of distractions. Early in the day, distractions are often minimal. Emails, messages, calls, and social obligations usually haven't started pulling you away yet. This makes it easier to focus fully on your hardest task without interruptions. One effective strategy is a clear time block in the morning, dedicated solely to this task. For example, from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., nothing else happens. No phone checking, no emails, no side tasks. You focus fully and push through. The duration should match the size of the task, but even a concentrated 60 to 90 minutes can produce significant progress. Another advantage is habit formation. When you consistently start each day with your hardest task, your brain learns to expect it. Over time, it becomes easier to begin and less intimidating. That automaticity reduces procrastination and builds long-term consistency. It's also important to manage your mindset. The hardest task may feel overwhelming. Break it down into smaller steps if necessary. Focus on starting the first step rather than completing the entire task in one go. Starting is often the biggest hurdle, and once you begin, momentum carries you forward. People often underestimate the cumulative impact of this habit. 1 hour of focused, difficult work every morning compounds over weeks, months, and years. The progress you make on critical tasks grows faster than you realize, and the consistency built through this habit becomes a cornerstone of personal and professional success. Another benefit is resilience. By facing challenging tasks first, you strengthen your ability to handle pressure and discomfort. That resilience transfers to other areas of life, making you more capable of staying consistent in the face of setbacks or unexpected challenges. To summarize the approach, identify your hardest or most important task the night before. Prepare everything needed to start immediately in the morning. Block a dedicated, uninterrupted time for this task. Focus solely on completing it or making substantial progress. Break it into smaller steps if necessary to overcome intimidation. Celebrate the completion or progress and let that momentum carry into other tasks. This habit also changes your perception of the day. When you finish your hardest task first, the day feels more manageable. Your confidence increases. You're no longer reacting to challenges. You're proactively handling them. This proactive approach builds mental clarity and emotional stability. Even when the task is uncomfortable or energy is low, committing to this approach reinforces discipline. Discipline is not motivation. It's the consistent choice to act in alignment with your goals despite how you feel. Starting with the hardest task teaches your mind that discomfort is temporary and achievement is lasting. Consistency is not about avoiding difficult work, it's about structuring your day to handle it when you are most capable. By starting your day with the hardest task, you harness your peak energy, reduce procrastination, create momentum, and build confidence. Over time, this habit transforms your ability to stay consistent in all areas. The hardest tasks no longer feel paralyzing. Your days flow with purpose and clarity. You learn to face challenges head-on rather than postponing them indefinitely. Starting the day with the hardest task is simple in principle, but its impact is profound. It trains your mind, strengthens your discipline, reduces stress, and ensures that progress happens consistently. Each morning becomes a stepping stone toward long-term success, and the habit compounds daily, producing results far beyond what most people achieve. Chapter 7. Prepare tomorrow's plan before you go to bed. One of the most overlooked habits of highly consistent people is something simple. They plan tomorrow before today ends. Preparing your plan the night before sets your mind up for success. It reduces stress, clears mental clutter, and ensures that you wake up with focus instead of wandering aimlessly through the day. Most people go to bed without thinking about what's next. They leave tomorrow to chance, hoping motivation or inspiration will appear in the morning. The result is wasted time, indecision, and frustration. Your energy and attention get scattered because you have no clear direction. Preparing your plan in advance prevents this. When you write down tomorrow's plan, your mind can rest. You don't have to carry a mental checklist of tasks, appointments, and goals while you try to sleep. That mental load keeps your brain active at night, reduces the quality of your rest, and makes waking up more difficult. A clear plan signals your brain that everything has been accounted for, allowing you to sleep with peace of mind. The process itself is simple but powerful. At the end of each day, take 10 to 15 minutes to review what you accomplished, what you missed, and what must happen tomorrow. Write down the most important tasks first. Prioritize the 1 or 2 actions that will make the biggest impact. Then schedule them into specific time blocks. By preparing your plan before bed, you remove uncertainty. You wake up knowing exactly what to do, in what order, and how much time to dedicate to each task. This reduces procrastination. You don't waste the first hour of the day deciding where to start. You start immediately, fully focused on the work that matters most. A critical element is prioritization. Not every task carries the same weight. When you plan at night, you can objectively evaluate what's important and what isn't. You focus on what moves you closer to your goals and eliminate low-value activities that tend to consume your time during the day. Preparation also creates a sense of control. You're no longer reacting to the day as it happens. Instead, you design it in advance. That proactive approach reduces stress and increases confidence because you know that your actions align with your goals. Nighttime planning also strengthens habit formation. The more consistent you are about planning, the more it becomes automatic. Your brain learns to shift from reflection on the day to preparation for the next. Over time, this creates a mental rhythm where planning, rest, and action are seamlessly connected. Another advantage is clarity. Writing down your tasks allows you to visualize your day. You can see how much time each task requires and how your day flows. This perspective helps you allocate time realistically, reducing the chances of overcommitting or feeling overwhelmed. Many people avoid nighttime planning because it feels tedious or unnecessary. They underestimate its power. But even a short, focused planning session can have a massive impact on your productivity, focus, and emotional stability. The simple act of committing tomorrow's tasks to paper or digital notes increases accountability and ensures follow-through. Sleep quality also improves when you prepare your plan. Without unresolved mental clutter, your mind can settle. Stress and anxiety decrease because you know tomorrow has a structure. This rest allows you to wake up with higher energy, ready to tackle the day. To make this work, follow a simple structure. Review today's progress. Check which tasks were completed, which weren't, and why. Learn from it. Select the top priorities for tomorrow. Identify the 1 to 3 tasks that will create the most impact. Schedule these tasks in specific time blocks. Assign realistic durations to each task to avoid overloading your day. Prepare resources or materials needed. Lay out tools, documents, or anything necessary to start immediately in the morning. Visualize tomorrow's flow. Mentally walk through the day so you anticipate challenges and plan accordingly. Preparation at night also reduces morning decision fatigue. When you wake up, you don't waste energy deciding what to do first. Your focus is clear, and your willpower can go directly into action rather than indecision. Consistency improves because planning reinforces routine. Every day has structure. Every day has clarity. Every day you know exactly what's next. This rhythm prevents stagnation and ensures that momentum carries forward day after day. The benefits also compound over time. A single day of planning may save an hour or 2 of wasted time. A week of planning can save several hours and reduce stress. Over months, this habit accelerates progress in all areas of life because consistent action becomes automatic. Planning tomorrow at night also helps with adaptability. When unexpected events occur, you can adjust within the framework you've already built. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, you rearrange priorities and maintain consistency. This proactive mindset keeps you flexible without losing control. Another powerful effect is confidence. When you know you have a plan and a schedule ready, you wake up feeling prepared instead of anxious. Confidence in your plan fuels motivation naturally. You don't rely on temporary bursts of energy or luck. Your success becomes a product of intentional design. Even small adjustments make a big difference. If a critical meeting is scheduled, include prep time in your plan. If you know a personal task will take longer than usual, account for it. By thinking ahead, you reduce surprises and prevent your day from derailing. Nighttime planning also strengthens accountability. When you write down what you intend to do tomorrow, you create a tangible record. This record allows you to track progress consistently and honestly. You see what you committed to and whether you followed through, making adjustments easier and more effective. This habit doesn't require perfection. Some days, circumstances may force changes. The goal isn't rigidity, it's preparation and foresight. Even if adjustments are needed, having a plan ensures that you remain proactive and intentional rather than reactive and scattered. Ultimately, preparing tomorrow before you go to bed is a cornerstone of consistency. It builds clarity, focus, confidence, and momentum. It protects your energy, strengthens habits, and ensures that you move toward your goals without unnecessary stress or delay. By committing to this simple practice every night, you transform your days from reactive chaos to proactive progress. You wake up with direction, act with purpose, and end each day ready to repeat the cycle. This habit compounds over time, producing results far beyond what most people achieve. Your consistent future starts tonight. Take a few minutes to review, plan, and prepare. When tomorrow arrives, you're ready to act with focus, energy, and clarity. That preparation is the bridge between intention and achievement, and it's one of the most reliable ways to stay consistent every day. Chapter 8. Celebrate small wins to keep yourself motivated. Consistency is a long game. It's built by showing up day after day, even when results aren't immediate. One of the most powerful ways to maintain that momentum is to celebrate small wins. These are the small achievements, the steps forward that often go unnoticed. Recognizing them keeps motivation alive and reminds you that progress is happening, even if the ultimate goal still feels far away. Many people focus only on big milestones. They think that only major achievements matter, but this mindset can be discouraging. When you don't reach the big goal quickly, you feel frustrated and sometimes give up. Celebrating small wins shifts your focus from the distant finish line to the steps you're taking right now. Small wins are proof that your efforts matter. They show that your habits are working, your decisions are producing results, and you are moving forward. Each small win is evidence that you're on the right path, and that evidence fuels motivation. Celebrating small wins is not about overindulgence or losing focus. It's about acknowledgement. It's about pausing to recognize your effort, your progress, and your commitment. That recognition creates positive reinforcement in your mind. Your brain starts to associate consistent effort with reward, which makes it easier to continue the habit. Think of it like this: every day you complete a task, hit a minor target, or follow through on your routine, you are stacking wins. Individually, they might feel small, but over time they accumulate into significant results. Ignoring them means missing an opportunity to reinforce positive behavior. The celebration doesn't have to be elaborate. It can be as simple as taking a moment to reflect, writing down your achievement in a journal, or mentally acknowledging that you accomplished something meaningful. These small acknowledgements signal to your brain that effort is worthwhile and worth repeating. Recognizing small wins also boosts confidence. When you see evidence that you are capable of following through, even in small ways, your belief in yourself grows. Confidence isn't built overnight. It grows from repeated proof that you can take action and produce results. Celebrating small wins accelerates that growth. Another benefit is motivation. Consistency relies on sustained energy over time. Motivation fluctuates naturally, and there will be days when it feels low. Small wins act as fuel during these times. They remind you that even a little effort counts, and that effort compounds. Seeing your own progress keeps you moving, even when external encouragement is absent. Celebration also creates a positive feedback loop. When you acknowledge success, your brain releases dopamine, a chemical associated with pleasure and reward. This encourages repeated action. By celebrating small wins consistently, you train your mind to enjoy the process of progress, not just the end goal. It's important to define what constitutes a small win for you. It should be specific and measurable. For example, completing a daily workout, writing a set number of words, saving money, or finishing a task ahead of schedule. When you define wins clearly, you make it easier to recognize them and reinforce them consistently. Journaling is a powerful tool for tracking and celebrating small wins. At the end of each day, write down what you accomplished, no matter how minor it seems. Seeing a list of completed actions, even small ones, creates a sense of achievement. Over time, your journal becomes a visual reminder of how far you've come. Another way to celebrate is to share wins with someone you trust. Talking about progress with a friend, mentor, or colleague reinforces accountability and creates a sense of shared encouragement. You build external reinforcement alongside internal acknowledgement, which strengthens motivation even more. Celebrating small wins also helps maintain perspective. Consistency requires patience, and progress is rarely linear. You will have setbacks and difficult days. Focusing on small victories helps you see the trajectory of growth rather than getting discouraged by temporary obstacles. It's a mental shield against frustration. It's important to remember that celebrating small wins is not about excuses or false praise. It's about recognizing real effort and real progress. Being honest with yourself about what you've achieved ensures that the reinforcement is meaningful. Acknowledging effort, persistence, and partial progress keeps your commitment strong. The timing of celebration matters too. Acknowledging wins immediately after they occur is most effective. Waiting too long diminishes the positive reinforcement. Immediate recognition strengthens the link between effort and reward, which is essential for building habits and maintaining consistency. Some people hesitate to celebrate small wins because they feel they're not big enough. This mindset is limiting. Progress is a process, and every step counts. By valuing small wins, you honor the process and reinforce your commitment to consistent action. Another practical strategy is to combine small wins with a brief personal reward. It doesn't need to be extravagant. A cup of your favorite tea, a short walk outside, or a moment of reflection can serve as a meaningful reward. Linking positive feelings to progress strengthens your motivation naturally. Celebrating small wins also creates resilience. When setbacks occur, having a record of past wins reminds you that you are capable. It's proof that you can overcome obstacles and continue moving forward. This mental resource helps you navigate challenges without losing consistency. Consistency and success are built through repeated action, not sporadic effort. Small wins are the bricks in that foundation. Ignoring them slows momentum. Recognizing and celebrating them ensures that each day contributes positively to your long-term goals. Another advantage is habit reinforcement. When you consistently acknowledge small wins, your brain starts to expect recognition for effort. That anticipation becomes a subtle motivator, making it easier to follow through on daily tasks without relying solely on willpower or external pressure. You also strengthen self-awareness. Tracking and celebrating small wins forces you to pay attention to what you're doing. It helps you notice what's working, what isn't, and where adjustments are needed. This awareness improves decision-making, focus, and efficiency. Over time, the cumulative effect of small wins is profound. Individual victories may feel minor, but months of daily acknowledgement lead to substantial progress. What seemed impossible at the start gradually becomes achievable. Confidence grows, motivation sustains, and consistency becomes natural. To implement this habit effectively, identify daily tasks or actions that represent meaningful progress. Record each accomplishment as it happens or at the end of the day. Take a moment to mentally or physically acknowledge your effort. Optional, reward yourself with a small, enjoyable activity tied to completion. Reflect on these wins weekly to see long-term progress. By consistently celebrating small wins, you reinforce the habit of action. You build confidence, maintain motivation, and create a positive mindset that supports long-term consistency. Every small win matters because every step forward brings you closer to your goals. The habit of celebrating small wins also improves emotional well-being. Life is often challenging, and acknowledging progress creates positivity and gratitude. This emotional balance makes it easier to continue taking action, even when tasks feel difficult or progress seems slow. Finally, celebrating small wins is about honoring your own effort. You recognize that showing up consistently, completing tasks, and moving toward goals deserves acknowledgement. It's a practice of self-respect that strengthens both your discipline and your motivation. When you celebrate small wins consistently, you create a cycle of action and reward. That cycle supports sustained effort, improves focus, and ensures that your journey toward your goals remains steady. Consistency isn't about grand gestures, it's about repeated action reinforced with recognition and appreciation for progress. Every day provides opportunities for small wins. Each action you complete, no matter how minor it seems, contributes to growth. Celebrating these wins ensures that progress is visible, motivation stays high, and consistency becomes a natural part of your life. Chapter 9. Stay committed even when results feel very slow. One of the biggest challenges in staying consistent is facing slow or invisible results. You work hard, follow your routine, and put in the effort day after day, yet it feels like progress is barely visible. That feeling can be discouraging. It can make you question whether your efforts are worth it. Staying committed during these times is what separates people who achieve long-term success from those who give up too early. Consistency is about trust. Trust in the process, trust in your effort, and trust in the time it takes for results to appear. The problem is that most people expect instant feedback. They want immediate confirmation that their work is paying off. Life rarely works that way. Growth, improvement, and mastery take time. When results feel slow, it's easy to feel frustrated or impatient. You might ask yourself if you're doing something wrong. You might compare yourself to others who seem to be progressing faster. That comparison is natural but dangerous. It distracts from your own journey and creates unnecessary stress. Your focus must remain on consistent action, not immediate outcomes. One of the most important things to remember is that progress often happens beneath the surface. You may not see results immediately, but your effort is building skills, knowledge, and habits that will compound over time. Each day of showing up adds value, even if it's invisible right now. Slow progress also tests your resilience. It challenges your patience and forces you to develop discipline. The difference between those who succeed and those who quit often comes down to the ability to keep going when results are delayed. Commitment isn't about temporary motivation. It's about choosing to act even when it's hard to feel rewarded. During periods of slow results, it's important to redefine what success looks like. Instead of focusing solely on end results, pay attention to daily actions, small improvements, and consistent effort. These are tangible measures of progress. By celebrating your persistence and recognizing incremental growth, you reinforce your commitment and maintain momentum. Another key principle is perspective. Long-term goals are rarely achieved overnight. Skills take time to develop. Habits take time to solidify. Growth takes time. Understanding that time is part of the process helps you manage frustration and stay focused. One effective strategy is to track progress carefully. Even small indicators of improvement matter. Keep records, notes, or metrics that show how far you've come, even if the overall results seem slow. When you see evidence of incremental progress, it strengthens your confidence and reinforces the value of consistent effort. Patience is essential. The slower the results, the more patience you must develop. Patience isn't passive, it's an active choice to remain committed. You keep showing up, doing the work, and trusting that your efforts will eventually produce the outcomes you want. Slow results also help you refine your approach. When progress is minimal, it gives you a chance to evaluate what's working and what isn't. This reflection helps you make small adjustments without abandoning consistency. Staying committed doesn't mean stubbornly repeating actions without learning. It means continuing effort while improving strategy. Maintaining a positive mindset is crucial. When results feel slow, negative thoughts can creep in. This isn't working, or I'll never reach my goal. These thoughts are normal, but must be countered with evidence of your persistence. Remind yourself that consistent action is progress, even if results are delayed. It's also helpful to remember that slow progress doesn't mean failure. Many great achievements required years of effort before visible results appeared. People who gave up early never reached their potential. Those who stayed committed, even in the face of slow progress, eventually achieved extraordinary outcomes. Another practical approach is to break larger goals into smaller, measurable steps. When results feel slow, focusing on small wins provides reassurance and motivation. You create a sense of accomplishment every day, which strengthens your resolve to continue. Consistency during slow results is also about trust in your process. You've developed habits, routines, and strategies designed to produce long-term success. Trust that if you continue following the system, results will come. Your responsibility is to act. The outcomes follow in time. It's common to feel isolated when progress is slow. Others may not see your efforts or understand the challenges you face. This is why self-validation is critical. Acknowledge your effort, discipline, and persistence. This internal recognition fuels commitment when external validation is absent. Another key mindset is embracing discomfort. Slow results can be uncomfortable because humans naturally seek quick wins and instant gratification. By staying committed, you learn to tolerate that discomfort and focus on what matters most. That tolerance strengthens resilience, discipline, and consistency. During slow results, it's also important to protect your daily rhythm. Consistent schedules, habits, and routines help you continue making progress even when motivation dips. Your actions become automatic, which reduces reliance on fleeting feelings of enthusiasm. Support can help, but it shouldn't be the primary source of motivation. Mentors, friends, or communities can provide encouragement, but true commitment comes from within. You must learn to act consistently, even when no one else is watching or cheering you on. That internal drive sustains long-term effort. Another factor is self-compassion. Slow results can lead to frustration, self-doubt, or criticism. Treat yourself with patience and understanding. Acknowledge that growth takes time and that perseverance is the true measure of progress. Self-compassion keeps you from giving up out of discouragement. Visualizing long-term impact is another useful technique. Even if today's results are small, imagine the compounded effect of consistent effort over months and years. This perspective transforms small actions into meaningful contributions toward your ultimate goal. The most successful people understand that slow progress is part of the journey. They focus on what they can control, showing up, taking action, refining their approach, rather than obsessing over immediate outcomes. Their commitment doesn't waver because they know that persistence is the true driver of results. To stay committed when results are slow, track incremental progress and acknowledge small wins. Focus on daily actions rather than immediate outcomes. Practice patience and trust the process. Break larger goals into manageable steps to maintain motivation. Protect routines, habits, and schedules to ensure ongoing consistency. Use self-validation and internal recognition to reinforce effort. Reflect and adjust strategies without abandoning consistent action. The key takeaway is simple: consistent effort is the foundation of results, even if you can't see them yet. Slow progress tests patience, discipline, and mindset, but overcoming that challenge builds strength and long-term success. When you commit, even when results are slow, you gain an advantage most people never experience. You develop resilience, self-discipline, and trust in your abilities. You learn to value the process over instant gratification. That mindset turns every small effort into a step toward meaningful achievement. Consistency is not about immediate reward. It's about persistent action, daily commitment, and belief in the power of incremental progress. Every day you continue despite slow results, you move closer to your goals. Every small effort compounds into significant change. Finally, staying committed during slow progress is a choice. You can give up and join the majority who quit when things feel difficult, or you can continue, trusting that your consistent action will eventually produce results. The difference between giving up and staying consistent is often all that separates ordinary outcomes from extraordinary success. Your effort matters. Your discipline matters. Your persistence matters. Even when progress feels invisible, your commitment is building the foundation for future results. Staying consistent, even in the face of slow outcomes, is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. It ensures that when the breakthrough finally comes, you're ready to claim it fully. Chapter 10. Remind yourself daily why you started this journey. Consistency is not just about doing tasks every day. It's about sustaining your effort over weeks, months, and years. One of the most powerful ways to maintain that consistency is to regularly remind yourself why you started in the first place. Understanding your purpose, your reason for acting, is what keeps you going when motivation fades, when distractions appear, or when results feel slow. Every journey has a starting point. When you began, there was a reason, a goal, a dream, a desire to improve or achieve something meaningful. Over time, it's easy to forget that initial purpose. Daily life, challenges, and routine can cloud your focus. Reminding yourself of your starting point reconnects you with the energy and clarity you had at the beginning. Why this is important is simple. Your brain responds to purpose. Motivation can come and go, but purpose is deeper. It drives you when energy is low, when tasks feel difficult, and when results are not yet visible. Purpose is the anchor that keeps you consistent, even when circumstances are challenging. Begin by clarifying your why. Ask yourself why you started this journey. What goal are you pursuing? What life or outcome are you working toward? Write it down. Be specific. The clearer your purpose, the more it will guide your daily actions and decisions. Reminding yourself daily is a simple practice. It can be as brief as a few sentences in the morning, a short reflection before starting work, or reviewing a note you've written for yourself. The key is repetition. Seeing, reading, or thinking about your reason for starting each day reinforces focus and strengthens commitment. This practice also protects against distraction. Life will always offer reasons to stop, postpone, or give up. Social media, urgent tasks, and unplanned challenges can pull you away from your priorities. When you remind yourself of your why, you create a mental filter. You can distinguish between what matters and what doesn't. Reminding yourself why you started also combats discouragement. There will be days when progress feels slow or setbacks occur. During those times, remembering your original purpose helps you maintain perspective. It reminds you that temporary difficulties do not erase the importance of your journey. Emotional connection plays a major role. Your why should evoke feeling, a vision of the life you want, the person you aim to become, or the impact you hope to make. Emotions drive action more strongly than logic alone. The deeper your emotional connection to your purpose, the easier it is to stay consistent. Another practical technique is visualization. Spend a few moments imagining the outcome you are working toward. Picture the results, the changes, and the benefits of achieving your goal. This reinforces your commitment and keeps your actions aligned with your purpose. Daily reminders also create accountability. When you consciously reflect on your why, you measure your actions against it. You ask yourself, am I acting in alignment with my purpose today? This self-check reinforces discipline and ensures that each day contributes meaningfully to your long-term goal. It's normal for motivation to fluctuate. There will be mornings when you feel tired, overwhelmed, or unmotivated. Reminding yourself why you started gives you a reason to act despite those feelings. It shifts the focus from temporary emotions to lasting purpose. Writing down your why is another powerful tool. Place it somewhere visible, a journal, a note on your desk, or a reminder on your phone. Reading it each morning keeps it top of mind. Repetition embeds it into your consciousness, so even when fatigue or distraction strikes, your reason remains accessible. Reflecting on progress also reinforces your purpose. Look at how far you've come, even in small ways. Each step taken, each habit followed, and each task completed is proof that your commitment matters. Linking this progress back to your why strengthens the connection between action and purpose. Another important aspect is clarity. Your why should be specific and actionable, not vague. Instead of a general statement like, "I want to succeed," define what success looks like for you. This clarity provides direction and makes your daily efforts meaningful because you understand exactly what you are working toward. Reminding yourself of your why also helps with resilience. Challenges, mistakes, or failures can feel discouraging. Purpose allows you to view obstacles as temporary and part of the journey. It shifts the focus from immediate discomfort to long-term achievement. Consistency is built on more than habit. It's built on meaning. Actions without purpose are harder to sustain. By reconnecting with your why every day, you infuse your routines with intention. Each small action becomes a deliberate step toward something significant. It's also important to adapt your why as you grow. Early in the journey, your goals and motivations may evolve. Regular reflection allows you to adjust your focus while maintaining alignment with your core purpose. Growth doesn't mean abandoning your why, it means refining it to remain relevant. Celebrating progress while keeping your why in mind is also powerful. Every small step forward validates your purpose. Recognizing these steps creates a positive feedback loop. Purpose drives action, action produces results, and results reinforce purpose. Daily reminders don't require much time, but they have an outsized impact. A short reflection or written note each morning or evening ensures that your actions remain aligned with your deepest goals. It keeps your focus sharp, your motivation sustained, and your consistency intact. Another technique is to connect your why to your daily tasks. Ask yourself, how does this action move me closer to my purpose? Linking small actions to a larger goal creates meaning in every moment and reinforces why you continue the effort even when challenges arise. Your why also fuels patience. Long-term goals rarely produce immediate results. Purpose helps you tolerate delays, setbacks, and slow progress because you understand that each day of consistent action contributes to a larger outcome. Patience and persistence become easier when anchored in meaning. Self-talk is a tool to reinforce your why. Remind yourself mentally of your purpose throughout the day, especially during difficult tasks. Short affirmations like, "This is why I started," or "Every step counts," help sustain focus and energy. These reminders connect present effort with long-term intent. Ultimately, reminding yourself why you started is about connection, connecting your present actions with your future vision. It transforms mundane routines into meaningful work and maintains your commitment when motivation is low. Every day becomes a conscious choice to honor your purpose and advance your journey. To implement this habit, write down your why clearly and specifically. Place it somewhere visible or review it daily. Reflect on how daily actions align with your purpose. Visualize the outcomes and benefits of achieving your goal. Celebrate progress and link it back to your why. Use your why to maintain focus, patience, and resilience. By reminding yourself daily why you started, you create an unshakable foundation for consistency. Your purpose becomes a guiding force, ensuring that every action, no matter how small, contributes to the life you are building. Motivation may fluctuate, results may be slow, but your why keeps you moving forward. Consistency is not about willpower alone. It's about aligning actions with meaningful purpose. Your why is the engine that drives your daily effort, the compass that guides your decisions, and the anchor that keeps you grounded in the face of challenges. When you start each day by reconnecting with your reason, you act with intention, energy, and clarity. You move beyond routine into purpose-driven action. Every task becomes a step toward what truly matters, and that daily alignment transforms your journey from uncertain effort into deliberate progress. Your purpose is your fuel, your compass, and your motivation. Reminding yourself of it daily ensures that consistency is not just a habit, but a meaningful, enduring path toward your goals. Every day, your actions reflect why you started, and that is the strongest foundation for long-term success.